Joining us now is Dave Shelley, who is our Director of Crossroads Relief and Development, our Give Life initiative that you often hear us talk about here on the program. Dave, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
Glad to have you here, man.
Nice to be here.
And we are here with an update and also an expression of gratitude to our partners and friends who helped us with the Philippine typhoon relief. That an amazing response by our viewers, and then lots of money raised and then matched, most of that by the Canadian government. And we thought not only did we want to say thank you for your incredible generosity, but also give you an opportunity. You've been to the Philippines, you're ready, I think, to get ready to go back.
Yeah.
We actually have updates and pictures and some footage here as to what's actually been happening. So take us on the ground in that spirit of gratitude.
You know, if I could have taken people with me and they would have gone to some of the devastated areas in Tacloban and the Panay Islands and the places I visited, I think they would feel really good about being able to give and bring hope and change lives on the ground, because it was really grim, the circumstances when I was there. You know, there were still bodies being pulled out of debris. Tacloban is kind of referred to as ground zero because it not only had the hurricane hit, the typhoon, but it had a storm surge. So the water, 15 to 20 feet surged inland, and that's what caused a lot of the deaths there. And so it was very grim, but you know what? I think I was so encouraged to see the church mobilized on the ground so quickly and so efficiently. I was there with the medical team that was flown in by a military C-130 to bring relief and medical attention to a lot of the people that were injured and children. And those medical teams are still ongoing today and will continue. I was there with the food packs, handing out food packs and hygiene and blankets and things. You know, over 120,000 people we've been able to help so far.
120,000 people helped because of what folks have given.
Yeah, and that's continuing still. So it's in spite of the tough circumstances, we were able to bring hope to a lot of people, and that's a real blessing.
Well, we found a great partner there with David Soberpena and Word of Hope, and I've known David many, many years, and I know of his ability to mobilize, and he is a pastor of an incredibly large church there in Manila. Of course, this damage that we're responding to and suffering we're responding to is another part of the country. But he was able to mobilize in an incredible way, and you saw firsthand the abilities. But one of the things I thought was, since because David is a pastor, and is a pastor of many pastors in the country, one of the strategic initiatives, and we shared this when we were raising the funds in that busy time then of last year, is that he is really focused on helping pastors and communities get back up on their feet and their churches get back on their feet, because they can become centers for encouragement and development and relief themselves to their communities.
Right, and so he is targeted about 100 churches that he wants to get roofing materials to, so that they can be safe places for community to gather as a resting place.
So these are like tin metal.
Yeah, corrugated metal sheets.
Yeah.
And so far, it's probably about 70 tons of corrugated metal sheets have been shipped out to different churches to start because we want to get the rebuilding started, the rebuilding of safe places for community to gather, churches, and then of course their homes. So during this time, that's been a great encouragement to people locally, that there's this safe place for them to gather.
This is one of a dozen things we're doing at the same time. Other things are happening around the world through our Give Life initiatives, which is part of what we do here at Crossroads with our relief and development. As you are watching what is happening around the world, you have to be obviously concerned as we see human needs and suffering, and I suppose that will always be with us in some degree. But you've got to be encouraged, because you're seeing not only people mobilizing here through giving, but you're also seeing people mobilized around the world who are working for the long term, trying to make difference in communities and villages in Africa or orphanages in Ukraine, various places we are around the world. People that we're trying to work through the sex trafficking and really get them out of that human trafficking element. It's pretty remarkable what we're involved in, and you're the guy day to day that leads that. How's your heart these days as you see what's unfolding?
You know what? It says when you refresh others, you refresh yourself.
Well said.
And you know what? I hope that all of our viewers and everyone who donates to all of those causes around the world. I hope they feel refreshed today, because their funds make a huge difference in bringing dignity and hope in people's lives around the world. So.
And we do it in the name of Jesus Christ and with the love of God. You know, the importance of the Scriptures tells us to love God and to love others. And you do that so well. And I know your heart for kids. You just have a real heart to help hurting kids who oftentimes are the frontline victims of whether it's government corruption or natural disasters, whatever they may be. And so the way you serve and the way you lead is so encouraging, inspiring to all of us in this building. And I again want to thank not only Dave Shelley, but I want to thank you for the way that you responded last mid to late fall with this Philippine typhoon relief. For us to be able to come to you and say, here's a need, and put a phone number on the screen, and for you to call in incredible numbers and just to say, hey, this is what I can do and I want to help. It is making a difference. It is helping, and we're going to keep you updated as 2014 unfolds, because the devastation there is so horrific that we know it's going to take a long time to recover. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to have David Soberpena himself here to be able to talk about what he's witnessed and seen there and what he's led there, and that we can shake his hand and personally introduce him to you. And I think we look forward to that, don't we, Dave?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
He's just fully engaged in this whole process. It's mind-boggling how much time he spent.
Yeah, and all that while still pastoring a major church.
Absolutely.
It's phenomenal leadership. Thanks again, everyone. May God bless you, and we look forward to sharing with you future updates, not only what we're doing in the Philippines, but all over the world. God bless.